rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Headlines spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, at least waking up and getting some coffee in you. Man, oh man, what a day. What a day this is going to be. Oh, boy. Nothing like fresh cup of coffee this time of the morning. Jeez Louise. Why don't we start out with the most interesting... weird. I guess it's weird. Good morning, Jar. Good to see you. Morning, Chris. Good morning, Daniel Barry, Debbie Webb. Yes, 6 more days till we get a little more of the lip tears. Well, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot to happen in the meantime. Oh my gosh. So you remember this this crazy story. Hey Betsy, good to see you. Will call. Nice. Good morning to you too. Good morning. Remember this psycho that we had that attacked Nancy Pelosi's husband? You know, it's really weird. How would you like to be called Nancy Pelosi's husband? You know, you can't even give him his real name, Paul Pelosi. You have to start it out with Nancy Pelosi's husband. Like that's how insignificant he is. Sorry, they get attacked by one of their own. Isn't that just that's horrible? I don't think this is a good thing. Good morning. We have in San Francisco the man who was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison for attacking Paul Pelosi with a hammer in Nancy and Paul's California home was given life term without the possibility of parole on Tuesday following a separate state trial. Yeah, that guy is an absolute freak, but he was a Pelosi supporter. That was the thing, is he's a big Nancy Pelosi supporter. He'd been part of her constituency that was going around and, you know, attacking different places during the Summer of Love. San Francisco jury found in June David DePop guilty of charges including aggravated kidnapping, first-degree burglary, and false imprisonment of an elder. Before sentencing DePop to life sentence for kidnapping conviction, Judge Harry Dorfman, it just makes me think of Tim Conway. Hey, how's it going, Amanda? Before sentencing to the conviction, the Judge Harry Dorfman rejected defense's attorney's arguments that he be granted a new state trial for the 22 attack against Paul Pelosi, who was 82 years old at the time. I'm not going to show the video because I played it here the night that happened. If you want to go back, you can pull that up and just find the 2022 time that happened. And we couldn't find anything out about this for quite some time. Like it went really quick and they brushed over it. They didn't say a whole lot about it. After it happened, they got really quiet. And they tried to blame it on a Trump supporter up until the point that they found out that he was a Pelosi supporter, that he was very much a Pelosi supporter. And then they quieted it all down because we can't have these kinds of things happening. So after he was arrested, you never heard anything about the trial. It got very quiet. His son came out and spoke out about him. But they still kept it quiet. Adam Lipscomb, a San Francisco deputy public defender, had asked Dorfman to consider DePop's mental health and isolation that made him susceptible to online propaganda because he wanted to get out. This is a man who has always been a peaceful, law-abiding person up into his activation, Lipson said before the punishment was handed down. When given the chance to address the court on his sentencing, DePop dressed in prison orange and with his brown hair in a ponytail, spoke at length about September 11th being an inside job, his ex-wife being replaced by a body double, his government-provided attorney conspiring against him. He says he's a psychic, DePop told the court. Reading from sheets of paper, the more I meditate, the more psychic I get. The judge interrupted DePop multiple times to ask if he wanted to address the jury's verdict or his conduct on the night of the attack, but DePop ignored the offers. In a letter read to the court by the victim's daughter, Christine Pelosi, Paul Pelosi called for the maximum sentence, saying the last peaceful sleep he had ended abruptly when the defendant violently broke into his home, burst into his bedroom, and stood over his bed with a hammer and zip ties, demanding to see his wife, yelling, "Where's Nancy?" I don't think anybody should be doing this to government officials at all. This is absolutely abhorrent. I don't care if you don't like Nancy Pelosi or her politics. That's not appropriate in any way, shape, or form. He said the attack left him with bumps on his head, a metal plate in it, dizziness, and nerve damage to his left hand. Sleeping alone at home evokes memories of the attack, he said. In a statement after Tuesday's sentencing, the Pelosi family said that after a grueling 2 years, legal justice has been served. Today's sentence of life without parole gives our pop some measure of legal justice, and we hope a message to others that political violence against elected officials or their family members will not be tolerated, minimized, or condoned. The statement said we must do our part to build a peaceful democracy. That is what a peaceful democracy is. Life is excessive. I would agree. Previously, a federal judge convicted DePop of assaulting a federal official's family member and attempting to kidnap a federal official. In May, he was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison. Although DePop expressed remorse for his action at the federal sentencing, he did not do that on Tuesday. Judges in both cases said they could not ignore the seriousness of targeting an elected official. Judge Dorfman, I would say, if this right here is what happens to DePop, then the second pew-pewer that was taking aim at Trump should be a win-win slam dunk, because all he wanted to do was kidnap Nancy, whereas this other person wanted to delete a former president. I would think that that would put him in a position of never seeing the light of day again. That would be only fair. Equal justice, equal lefts, equal rights. Although DePop did express remorse in one, he did the other. Judge Dorfman on Tuesday also sentenced DePop to two additional years on the other counts, but all the sentences, including the federal run, will run concurrently. He said that if an appellate court overturns his sentence of life without parole, he will ask that the case be sent back to his court for resentencing. Lipson told reporters after the hearing that he will appeal the ruling. This was a really tragic end to a tragic story. The prosecutor's San Francisco Assistant District Attorneys Sean Connolly and Phoebe Mafia said in a statement that the sentence reflects the seriousness of DePop's conduct and with the harm he inflicted on an innocent man. There's no rejoicing in such cases, and there are no winners, it said. Who said it? He or she? I guess they're both it's. The defense argued that the state trial amounted to double jeopardy, saying that although the state and federal courts weren't exactly the same, the two cases stem from the same act. The judge dismissed some of the state charges, but he kept others that weren't covered by the federal case. So is that how that works? So, yes, that would be true that there's certain things that are covered by it. I think he was an illegal alien too from Canada. Well, we'll get into that. In October 28th, 2022, the attack on Paul Pelosi was captured on a police body cam video just days before the midterm elections and shocked the political world. It shocked a lot of people because there was a concern that this was a Trump supporter, but it was found out that he wasn't. He was actually one of Nancy Pelosi's supporters. He suffered head wounds, including a skull fracture that was mended with plates and screws. DePop, a Canadian citizen who has been living in the U.S. for years, admitted during his federal trial that he planned to hold Nancy Pelosi hostage, record his interrogation of her, and break it in kneecaps. And she did not admit. If she did not admit to the lies she had told about Russiagate, a reference to the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential campaign. That was what that was all about. Now, I don't agree with any of that stuff, or doing any of that kind of stuff. I think that's abhorrent, and he should have some serious, comeuppance on that. Some serious comeuppance on that. That is something that we should not be tolerating against any elected official. It's not appropriate. It's not good. It's funny. I saw this today on the X. It was camel toe at the ellipse, or whatever they want to call it. Jess Seward said, "Since when is Kamala Harris worried about a shot to the face?" Referring to, if I have to explain it, then what good would it be? But we have this here by the Freedom Tunes. This is Seamus from Freedom Tunes. Here we go.
So long as we're correct about the parabola peaking at a point lower than the proposed tax rate, which we almost certainly are, revenue should actually increase with the cut.
Even in such case where we were wrong, we almost certainly would not be cutting past the point of growth maximization.
The question is, will tax cuts sufficiently increase marginal propensity to consume, or will an increase in take-home pay simply result in greater savings, which will fail to generate significant enough stimulus for growth and a subsequent revenue increase?
Mr. President, your anonymous source is here.
Who's this?
It's important we have one at every meeting to give the Democrats an October surprise, remember?
Well, fair is fair. Great to meet you.
Likewise, Mr. President. Thank you.
Anyway, Mr. President, as we were saying, you're correct that any growth experienced may not be visible if marginal propensity to consume is not.
My favorite thing about Hitler was all the suckers and losers he killed in World War II. If I fought Hitler, which I would never do, I would have won, because I'm much better and stronger than everyone he killed. Maybe we would even have to become best friends because he respected me so much. I sure hope so. Love his work. Very attractive man.
Otherwise, we're
Did anyone hear that?
hear what?
Nothing, I guess.
As you were saying.
Yeah, that's right. As we were saying, if we want any tariff to result in the desired effect properly, we need to make sure that we're targeting specific industries that...
You don't understand. I want the tax cuts to boost economic growth, yes, but the tariffs shouldn't be determined on the basis of growth.
That is understood, Mr. President, but if there isn't any compromise, the economic difficulties brought about by the tariffs could result...
Abe Lincoln, total loser. Won a civil war just to free the South slaves. Terrible negotiator. I would have taken the slaves and made them the North slaves. But Abe stinking doesn't have good business instincts. Maybe that's why he's dead. Died like a dog. Would have shot him myself, frankly. And in fact, if I ever get shot, I might just survive just to flex on him.
Is anyone hearing this?
Hearing what?
Please, could we stop with these interruptions?
You didn't... Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm certain if we're removed from office, it will have nothing to do with that. The American people know we're being taken advantage of by China.
He has a point.
And I understand that point, I do, but you can't underestimate how quickly the mob can shift its anger from a foreign nation and towards an elected official who has ignored their
I support Israel because it allows me to pop Muslims, but let that be no mistake. I don't like those Jews. Total losers, always complaining. Can't even build good space lasers. If I was a Jew, frankly, maybe there wouldn't be so many anti-Semites. And the tunnels under New York would have been finished long ago.
Ah!
Are you alright, sir?
How are none of you hearing this? He's just going on about loving Hitler and slavery and hating Jews.
I did not hear any of that.
No, I'm not letting you gaslight me anymore. The world will know what was said here. They have a right. I'll tell everyone about this as soon as possible. In 6 years, 2 weeks before an election.
It's true. I was there.
Oh my God. Mark your calendars. 2 a.m. November 3rd. Daylight saving time. Tim's fall back 1 hour. Why would Tim's fall back? Don't let Tim's fall back, because whenever they fall, everybody falls. So don't let the Tims fall back. Ever. What the F was that? Oh my God. Oh my God. It was the most beautiful thing. It was wonderful. It was Freedom Tunes. So now how many people do I have here? Oh, you guys are just going to have to wait because I've got a good one for you. You're really going to like this one. You're going to have to stick around. We need to have at least 50 people in here. At least 50 people in here for this next one. Because it's a good one. It's a really good one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. On to this next story that we've got. Good morning, Wallstrom. A clumsy early voting option has backed up election offices in Pennsylvania and frustrated voters. So let's see what the AP has to say about this. Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Oh, this is in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. A clumsy and time-consuming early voting option in the nation's biggest presidential battleground state, so Pennsylvania is the biggest battleground state, is creating frustration, leading to hours-long lines and prompting claims of disenfranchisement as voters swamp county offices that are not prepared to handle the influx. Okay. The confusion is partly a result of Pennsylvania's law passed just before the pandemic and partly from crowds of Republican voters heeding calls by their party and former President Donald Trump to vote early. Trump entreaties to his support to cast ballots before the November 5th election come after a repeatedly attacked forms of early voting in previous years. In the seat of suburban Philadelphia's Bucks County, often seen as a political bellwether, voters waited up to 3 hours on Tuesday the final day to apply for a mail ballot. Why the change from 4 years ago when relatively few voters tried to apply for early ballots in person? Because he told us to vote early. I was just trying to make it too big to rig, said Marlene Burns, 52, repeating one of Trump's standard lines, encouraging his supporters to vote. So nothing wrong with going out and voting. So yeah, that's why I'm voting at the courthouse and wanted to have my vote in person. The early voting is the angst of the largest dust up over voting in Pennsylvania, which has the largest trove of electoral votes in any battleground state and is by far the state most visited by the Democrat and Republican presidential tickets this year. The run-up to Election Day in the state has been marked by numerous battles over mail ballots, some landing on the doorstep of the U.S. Supreme Court. The culprit in the latest controversy is a law that Pennsylvania legislature, then controlled by Republicans, passed in 2019 in an attempt to expand mail-in voting. They created a system for early voting very different than in most states where registered voters can go to a vote center in their county and cast a ballot before Election Day. Instead, in a practice known as on-demand mail voting, Pennsylvania voters can show up at their county government offices, request a mail-in ballot, then fill out an application. That form has to be reviewed to make sure that person's an eligible voter and then approved. Once that happens, a ballot has to be printed. It's a process that can take about 12 minutes per voter if everything goes right. Voters have the option of filling out the ballot on the spot and turning it in, taking it home, or asking that it get mailed to their house. If they don't fill out the ballot right away, they can return it to the Postal Service and place it in a drop box. Well, we've sort of heard a little bit about these drop box issues. Yeah, we did hear a little bit about those. That didn't turn out really well in one case, and let's see if I've got that particular one, because that was a really interesting story that I read yesterday. And let me scroll down here. It was this one right here. This one right here that I read. And there it is. Yes. So there was a free Gaza message linked to a ballot box attacks in Washington and Oregon. Interesting. Ballot box. Let me see if I can zoom in here on this. Why is it acting such a pain? Ballot boxes in Oregon, Washington may have been set on fire by an anti-Israel protester. Don't care. Found a note that said all drop boxes will burn free Gaza, the Post has learned. Between 3 and 4 a.m. on Monday, fires caused by incendiary devices were discovered in ballot boxes in Vancouver, Washington, and neighboring Portland, Oregon. A built-in fire suppressant has stopped most of the flames at the Portland location, but hundreds of ballots were destroyed at the drop box officials landing transit center in Vancouver. And that's what the fire looked like right there. The FBI is now heading the investigation into... Why is it doing that? Monday's fires, which are believed to be linked and also connected to a third attempt at arson attack earlier in the month in Vancouver. Like election officials and law enforcement have remained largely mum about their investigation. They've directed those who use the ballot boxes over the weekend to track their ballots online, to contact the local auditor's office. Damn it. Office for replacement ballots if needed. Now, why would you ever say replacement ballots if needed? Well, because some of them didn't burn. But according to an election official with knowledge but not authorized, of course, election official with knowledge, I'm sure they have, but not authorized to speak on record, a political letter was discovered in a ballot box in the Vancouver Mall parking lot just a few hours after those little flames were put out. According to the source, a white piece of paper folded in half had been deposited in the box. It is not confirmed if the message came from the suspected involvement of the arson fires, but the New York Times reports that all three incendiary devices themselves had the message "Free Gaza" on them. One of these days, I'm going to catch the boogers and begging from catch the begging of Achilles' stream. Morning, Tom. Tom Gillis. Oh, is Tom Gillis in here? Is Tom Gillis in here? Yes, he is. Tom, I've got something to show you. I got something to show you. You gotta be ready for this. This is gonna be really awesome. Whenever you see it, you're gonna like it. I've got an update for you. It's gonna take me a little bit to correct some stuff, but I've got to show this to you guys. Give me just a second. I hope that you're paying attention, Tom, because you're gonna like this. You are gonna like this. Once I get it pulled up, I think you guys will agree that this is going to be the most awesome thing. The most awesome thing. So I was telling people that I was up a little bit late last night, and this is what I worked on for Tom. I want you to be paying attention, be paying close attention, because I am going to, let me see if I could get this right here. And I believe, where is it? Let's go back here. And where is it? Doggone it. Ah, let me see if I can bring this up full screen. And I think, nope, I'm sharing, sure, where is it? Why is it expanded out so large? Let's see here. I believe I just bear with me. Bear with me. Export video. Export video to this. Export. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to show this to you guys. It'll take a little bit, so Tom, you have to stick around. You have to stick around because you're gonna like this thing that I'm going to show you. It is. You're going to be impressed with it. I think it's going to be one of the best things that you see all morning. So you just hang there. You just hang there. I'm telling you, this is one of the this is well worth sticking around for. All right, so we've got, but according to the election officials with knowledge but not authorized to speak on record, a political letter was discovered in a ballot box at the Vancouver Mall parking lot location just a few hours after the fires were put out. According to the source, a white piece of paper folded in half had been deposited in the box. Okay, there we go. The shopping center box is less than 15 minutes by car from the Fisher's Landing transit station where one of the fires occurred. And this is a picture of the vehicle. Investigators said that they found the note that said all drop boxes will burn free Gaza as the fires occurred sometime between 3 and 4 a.m. on Monday. I'm not going to have a comment at this time, said Clark County Auditor Greg Kimsey, said when asked about the political letter. The election source tells the Post that the county investigators have not publicly shared information about the investigation over fears it could keep voters from using the ballot boxes in the remaining days leading up to the election or inspiring copycat attacks. All elections in Washington, Oregon are vote by mail. Hear that? All elections in Washington and Oregon are vote by mail. The arson attacks come amid closely watched congressional race rematch between Washington's 3rd Congressional District incumbent Glusenkamp Perez, a Democrat, and Joe Kent, a Republican U.S. Army veteran. The two are polling neck and neck in the district. By Monday evening, Clark County Auditor announced that election office employees will monitor 24/7 all 22 drop boxes. Vancouver police announced additional patrols. Close that damn tab because for whatever reason, they've got all kinds of issues happening. Let me do this real quick. I want to share this with you guys really quick. In case you haven't seen this, this is spooky.
Hey, want to hear some fucked up shit? Alexa, who will win the next American election?
The 2024 American election will not take place. There will be no winner. War Powers Resolution of 1973 or the War Powers Act will be invoked by the active war with Russia and China. Once an invoked, the standing party will retain and remain in power.
Yeah. I don't think you guys heard that, did you? No, that's a crazy, crazy thing. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I saw that and I just about crapated myself. Let me see this. Here we go. This is for Tom Gillis. Let me put this thing up here. And I'm going to I'm going to have to pause it. So this is something that I put together last night for Tom Gillis. And let me see if I can maximize the size of it. Let's see, full screen. Yes. All right. So Tom Gillis, sir. This right here. This here, everyone, is Tom Gillis. And he sent me this picture, and I'd been working on creating a video for him for his intro. So this is a test run, and I need to do a little bit of editing at the end of it. But this is pretty much what I'm getting ready to send Tom right here. Check this out. Yeah, like I said, got to fix the end of it. But that's what I'm working on for Tom Gillis. Amazing. Yeah. That one I started working on last night and was able to finish it up. Now I just got to get the little logos in there and do it in high def. The only problem that I have with it is, Tom, if you have a picture, that initial picture of you in a widescreen format, I can use that, and so it won't be such a small box. You've got my email. Is there supposed to be sound? Was there no sound? Huh. Did you not hear the sound? Pretty sure that there should have been sound. That's cool. Was there no sound? Tell me there was no sound. I'll send a little bit later. I'm driving at the moment. Hey, drive safe. No worries. There was no sound. Holy crap. So I had sound, but you guys didn't? Well, let's do this. We'll stop that and we'll present. And we'll see if it doesn't share screen. That's so weird that it didn't give you sound. Yeah, it should have audio. I've got the audio up. And let's try it again. So do you guys have sound now? Tell me there was that time. Yes or no? I'll wait for a couple seconds. So it takes about 10-15 seconds. Now there is sound. All right, here we go. Let's start it over. Let's start this thing over. Here we go. Yeah, that was so I worked on that a little bit last night, but I'm going to try to get that out in widescreen format so it fits on the whole screen. If not, it just ends up in this weird little box. So yeah, whenever Tom gets home, he'll send me a new picture. Now it may not exactly look the same. Yeah, 100,000 times better, yes, with the sound. Yeah, I agree. That is much better with the sound. But yeah, that was what I worked on last night. It's awesome. Yes, I like it too. I was pretty impressed with it. Got the fireworks explosion and of course the rainbow flag for Tom. He's like asshole. Yes, it is. It was pretty cool. I was like I said, pretty happy with it. Pretty happy with it. So yeah, that's it. I know he's going to have something similar to that whenever it gets done. Hey, he chose the song. He chose the song. We worked on that during his stream one day. Hey, no problem, brother. I got you. I told you I'd hook you up. I told you I'd hook you up. I'm just slow at some things sometimes. Oh my gosh. So as I had seen all of those kinds of shenanigans happening on the polling for Pennsylvania, they were having issues there, and there was this very interesting story that happened during that time, and everybody was up in arms about it. And this right here is what happened during that, and I will show you here real quick. If you're wondering what was happening at the polling places, there was somebody that came into the polling place to cast their vote, and this is what happened.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a little spying. Looks like people are online still.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what's going on.
So people are in line. This is in Pennsylvania.
There you go. That's it. Hey, that's your job. Yeah, that's it. You know. All right. So that's it. That's it. Mail-in. That's on.
No, that's a box of other forms.
That's a box of.
Is that the going on?
I have a question. I have to bring someone here about 4 o'clock to vote. Are they gonna?
I'm gonna ask you to talk to
Are
this.
they gonna turn everyone?
And you notice the little sign on there. It says voter protection. Oh yeah, there's lots of stuff I can't do.
Down.
I'm gonna ask you to talk to this gentleman because the voting is closed right now.
It's closed.
Voting is closed. LPGTGGI. That's awesome.
I just want you to talk to this gentleman.
We have the right to vote until 4:30.
I get you. Here's
Why
what
is it
happened.
closed?
Let me explain it to you.
Please.
Okay. This process is very slow and grueling.
That doesn't matter if we're on.
Process is slow and grueling, is what he says. Okay. Yeah, that is part of the process. So slow and grueling doesn't change anything. With free cursing lessons included.
Very slow and grueling.
Doesn't matter if we're online by 4:30. We have the
The
right
reason
to
why it
vote.
had to close was because a high volume of people wanted to do this. Slow and grueling.
Well, the
Doesn't matter. There's still voter rights to vote. And if you're in line, they can't turn you away. They have to stay there. They have to. If not, they need to bring some more people in to get a process through.
then they
So
have
they
to
had
wait
to-
till everyone's.
They had to cut the line at 1:45.
They cut the line at
Cutting the line, like turning people away at 1:45.
1:45.
1:45.
You hear that, everyone? They cut the line at 1:45.
Here's the
This
form
is
right here.
voter fraud, by the way.
No, it's
who are
not.
You? Yes, it is. Oh, voter protection. I heard about that on X. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Contact
Voter protection. Let's see what
Contact
that's
the
from.
county commissioners to complain.
This is a
Ooh, that's what they're telling people. You got a reservation at Olive Garden, woman, and all you can eat pasta is back. Damn. I mean, the logic is simple. You can't predict the wait time. Build that into your schedule. Yeah.
And so you don't think this is voter fraud? This is voter fraud. See that, everyone? They cut the line, even though we have till 4:30. Election fraud here in Bucks County. And you have an oath. I mean, don't you care? I mean, like, really? This is ridiculous.
Yep, he grabs his phone, looks at it. He doesn't care. So that is what they're telling people. And that's just one isolated incident. But let's see what the AP actually has to say about these kinds of things happening. Because, you know, they're fair and balanced here. Instead, in a practice known as on-demand mail-in voting, Pennsylvania voters can show up at their county government offices, request a mail-in ballot, then fill out the application. That form was to be reviewed to make sure the person is an eligible voter and then approved. Once that happens, a ballot has to be printed. It's a process that could take about 12 minutes. County officials say they need more funding to hire staff to help with on-demand early voting and are trying to accommodate the surge of voters. Compounding the problem is that offices have just a single printer, especially designed for the early person ballots, which include inner and outer envelopes. Does not matter. Does not matter. The law is the law. It has nothing to do with the county commissioner. That is a them problem, not a you problem. It is an uncertain process for a lot of people because it's still relatively new. It's also kind of inefficient, said Bucks County Board of Elections Chairman Bob Harvey in an interview. There's definitely changes that need to be made. You would think after 4 years you would have those taken care of. Let's go Yankees. Responding to criticism and misinformation on social media, the Bucks County government said every voter in line by 5 p.m. Tuesday would be allowed to apply for a mail-in ballot. Really? What did we just hear? Wait, didn't we just hear somebody tell them that they shut it down at 1:45? They would be allowed to apply. They would have to apply for a mail ballot, but these people don't want to do a mail-in ballot. They want to vote in person. So there was no misinformation. Voting in person is different than a mail-in ballot. If they have to be there for 3 days standing in line, then they need to be there for 3 days standing in line. They should never be turned away. To me, that sounds like a very, very illegal thing to do. I'm no lawyer, but if I were a lawyer, I might have a little bit to say about it. Trump's team has already filed suit. Yep. Bottom line is they violated these people's rights. If the town doesn't have enough workers to cover, they can't stay open. Yes, they can. It is incumbent upon them to stay open. Worried about something like that happening here. TVA is cutting power here on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Different rules during early voting. 1 p.m. Pacific time. 1:45 Pacific time. Yeah, there you go. Looks like they caught fire after I stopped watching. Yeah. Only vote in person is done on election day. Not true. Not true. Hey, Wicked. I think it's less fraud, more lazy humans. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I don't want to call that election fraud. I would call that just as lazy humans and not wanting to follow the law. Other counties assured early voters they would have a chance to apply for their ballots online. It's a system voters and officials are still getting acquainted with. The 2020 election was marked by a surge in ballots cast by mail. Wonder why. And the 2022 midterm elections didn't see the same kind of turnout typical in a presidential year. It means that they did a damn horrible job at doing their job. Weird how that works. Harvey said counties need more money to help with staffing and equipment for early voting. He said he would like to see a change in state law that would allow voters to check a box to automatically receive a mail ballot every year. But what if they don't want to mail in a ballot? What if they want to vote there in person? Pennsylvania politically split. State government has largely stalemated over modernizing election laws since 2019. Modernizing since 2019. I think there's only one voter law that should happen. If you have something already set in place where people are allowed to vote early, then you should be equipped for it. If you're not equipped for it, that would be something. The talk-to-text system really blows. When you're told that, yes, you can go do early voting by someone, and then you show up and you're told, well, no, you can't do early voting. You know, voters aren't sure who to believe. Good to see you, Jack Buck. Good to see you. Your bad average is better than his in the playoffs. Driving 90 in the rain, trying to text me and give me a break. Son of a bitch. Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Oh my gosh. Oh, we have more. We have more. And I'm sure that they'll twist this around. I mean, I really, really, really feel bad for the voters. I really do. Like, Biden suggests Trump supporters are garbage after a comic insults the island of Puerto Rico. Washington. Joe Biden took a swipe against Donald Trump supporters on Tuesday as he reacted to the Republican presidential nominee's weekend rally at Madison Square Garden, which was overshadowed by crude and racist rhetoric. There was no crude or racist rhetoric there. In a call organized by a Hispanic advocacy group called Vote Latino, why don't they call themselves Vote Latinx? See how because that's about how they are. Biden responded to a comic at Trump's rally who called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. That's not what he said. He said there's a pile of garbage in the middle of the water. An island of garbage is what he called it. And he said it's called Puerto Rico. It didn't receive a welcome response by anybody there because the joke landed a little flat, like his wife's chest. Biden's initial comments were garbled. Really? Do you think Biden's comments were actually garbled? Why don't we see what his comments were that were supposedly so garbled? Why don't we see? Why don't we see what exactly his comments were that were so garbled that you could barely understand what he said? Here, right here, we've got it for you.
Or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
Yeah, did it sound garbled to you? I think it sounded pretty damn clear that he just called Trump supporters garbage. The captions typically say unintelligible. Almost everything that he says ends up being unintelligible, but that was pretty damn clear that he called Trump supporters garbage. And then he says, well, let me tell you something. I don't. The Puerto Rican that I know, the Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state, Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people, he said. The president then added, the only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. He's an un-American. He's totally contrary to everything we've done, everything we've been. So he calls Trump supporters garbage. White House spokesperson Andrew Bates, of course, said, Biden referred to the hateful rhetoric at the Madison Square Garden rally as garbage. That's not what he said. Biden then took to social media to clarify what he said. No, we heard what you said. You called people. Tony is a member of the LGBTTGGI too. Oh, it would be the plus. The plus, man, the plus. They're throwing it, they're leaving such a mess for Trump. Yeah. Earlier today, I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporters at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage. Yeah, the internet's forever, Joe. If you're having a hard time making cognitive sentences, interesting, huh? And he's saying his demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. He did not. And that's the thing. Trump didn't say this. It was a comedian that said it, and he was making fun of the island, not the people. Weird how that works, isn't it? The comments at the rally don't reflect who we are as a nation. In referring to Trump supporters as garbage, however, Biden's tone was at odds with the message that Democrat nominee Camel Toe is seeking to present as she aims to cast a broad appeal. Well, no one's appealed by that broad, including to disaffected Republicans. Oh, so you mean the Republicans that are not going to vote for you? Because to them, we're all considered Yahtzees and garbage and deplorables and all of these kinds of horrible things that they wonder why the country is so divisive. Do you think that divisiveness might have a little bit to do with your party there, Joe? Might have a little bit to do with your party there, Camel Toe? Joe and Camel Toe sitting in a tree. FUCKLNOMNOP. Camel Toe is seeking to present. She aims to cast broad appeal, including disaffected Republicans. Shortly after Biden's comments, Harris spoke from the Ellipse in Washington, vowing to be president who would unite the country as they constantly divide the country. That's not how it works. She says she pledges to be a president for all Americans, but only if you vote for her. Republicans quickly highlighted Biden's remark. Trump called up Florida Senator Marco Rubio during his rally in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and recounted what happened. Moments ago, Joe Biden stated, "Our supporters, our patriots, are garbage." Rubio said he's talking about everyday Americans who love their country. That right there is exactly who he's going after. They are losing in so many different ways. Losing in so many different ways. Let me see. I can't play that because it has sound that is horrible in there. But this is what was pulled up. This is what Rubio had to say about this. Here it is.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I have breaking news for you, Mr. President. You may not have heard this. Just moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters are garbage. Are garbage. He's talking about the Border Patrol. He's talking about nurses. He's talking about teachers. He's talking about everyday Americans who love their country and want to dream big again and support you, Mr. President. And I hope their campaign is about to apologize for what Joe Biden just said. We are not garbage. We are patriots who love America. And thank you for running, Mr. President.
Wow. That's terrible. That's what it says. That's what it says. So you have, remember Hillary, she said deplorable, and then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable, that didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right? But he doesn't know, you have to please forgive him. Please forgive him, for he not knoweth what he said.
Oh,
These people, it's terrible, terrible.
yeah. Pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. Moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters, our patriots, are garbage. Rubio said he's talking about everyday Americans who love their country. Now you saw that he was talking about every person that votes for Donald Trump. He's calling them garbage. But of course, the AP doesn't put the whole quote in there. They have to take it out, well, just enough out of context. Trump campaign spokesperson said in a subsequent statement, there's no way to spin it. Joe Biden, camel toe, don't just hate President Trump. They despise the tens of millions of Americans who support him. They do. Trump campaign fundraising text declared, Kamala's boss, Joe Biden, just called all my supporters garbage before ensuring recipients that Trump himself thinks that you are amazing. Even some prominent Democrats begin distancing themselves from Biden's comments. Speaking on CNN, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro said he would never insult the good people of Pennsylvania or any Americans, even if they chose to support a candidate that I didn't support. So is that why you're closing down the noise? You're jumping? Why are you jumping? Golf pros count too. Well, they can at least count to two. At least golf pros can count to two. I'd like to see that. Well, let's see what some of those people had to say about that. Well, why don't we listen to what some of these people had to say on say MSNBC?
But let's also go to what Donald Trump himself said last night, that some of the black men groups that I've been debating about why they can't be with Trump, he said, I could be laying out in the beach with my white skin getting tanned. I mean, this is Donald Trump's mouth. Saying this. So I said to those on the fence, this is not a real racial signal. My pretty, white, beautiful, white skin. Yeah. Donald Trump said this last night at his homecoming.
That's what he's saying, that Trump said. So how about this? Let's watch with context.
The greatest resorts in the world. I could have been extremely happy. I could have had those beautiful waves smack me in the face. I could have had the beautiful suntan. This white skin could have been tan and beautiful.
So when people said that this was like reminiscent of the supremacist rally in 1939, the Nazis, I think that it lived up to that.
Yeah, let's talk about beautiful black skin isn't racist, right, Al? Yeah, Al has some issues. That man is ridiculous. Well, it is all about trying to drum up support because they know how bad that they're losing, and the more that they want to talk about how well they're doing. What in the hell? Why is this doing this? All right, there we go. Let's bring this up here. Let me make sure this sounds like there's music. Oh, I can't show that because it's got music behind it. Yeah. Yeah, I love it whenever they have music behind stuff and you're just like, oh, that's not what I want to have happen. That's not what I want to have happen. So what is it that is really going on here? Because all you have to do is they're really trying to push gaslighting is overt and real. Yes, it is. I have something with the deplorable thing, but they just need to get a freak off and relax a little. Yeah. Yeah, that is very true. Troublemakers is all Al is? Yes, Donna, that is correct. That is all that Al is. But of course, we've got Michael and me.
Michelle and I, we always talk about this when we are mentoring young people. We always tell them, do not let people think you do not belong. Because I promise you, once you sit at these tables, at these fancy places, with folks with fancy titles.
What, like former president? You talking about like buying beachfront property while you talk about how the sea is rising? How much did you make at your little speeches that you're making to try to get Camel Toe elected? How much you making there? Who's really running the show?
And they got a big bank account. And you talk to them, and you go, oh,
Yeah.
they ain't all that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, sir.
This idea that somehow they are so special, they're so smart, they're so sophisticated. Not really.
What in the hell? You wish you had chocolate milk? Good night. I wish I had chocolate milk. Oh, come on, man. You don't like chocolate milk? Good night. You get some rest, expert. You get some rest. You've been up way too long, brother. You've been up way too long. I know you. You've probably been out chasing tail, picking up the dog poop after chasing that tail around. Yeah. How are the pups doing? I hope they're doing good. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you.
They've been exposed. They've been given the confidence of feeling like they belong. But if you sit down and talk to them, turns out they're just folk.
Yep, normal people.
Normal people.
What you always say about if you can speak English?
We can talk to anybody that speaks English. Like, I don't care where you at, what money you have, what you own, what this, what that. If you speak English, I can sit down and talk with you.
That's my point. And so part of what I try.
Interesting trope. What do you think you meant by that? What was that supposed to mean? What, you don't like your Latino brothers and sisters? Yeah, boy.
Try to do with, I think, the young men that I talk to is just to try to be honest with them about the struggles I went through, the fact that when I was a teenager, I was messing up. I remember meeting with a group of high school boys one time, and they.
Why is it Obama all of a sudden starts to talk black? That's what I don't understand. It comes out of nowhere. Huh. It's really, really, really fake.
Were shocked when I started telling them, yeah, man, I was getting high and screwing around, and not doing what I was supposed to do. And they're sitting there because, there's a picture of me in their classroom when they were in elementary school. And so for them to hear the fact that, no, I went through the same things you did. That's the message that I want. And then to say to them, but you know what? You've got the power to make choices and to move in a direction where there's no reason why you can't achieve, you can't empower yourself, you can't pursue the dreams you want. And politics is part of that, and voting is part of that, and that's your birthright as a citizen. Don't give it away.
Oh, really? Really? It's your birthright as a citizen. So why are we having these people call us garbage? My favorite thing is what Rosalind sent me, she posted this yesterday. The Roz posted this yesterday. This is damn hilarious. If you haven't seen this, you're going to love this. Check this out. Go back 15 years, become famous. You watching? You're going to love it.
Chloe, we're going to Disneyland!
So you were put into office. No one even knew who Obama was. Outside of Chicago, no, they had no idea. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that message. Exactly. As a citizen, what about the illegals voting? Well, that's not happening, you know. That would never be happening. That would never be happening. But they did come up with a plan for the illegals, and somebody asked me about this. Who was this person yesterday? This is the head of ICE. What he had to say.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
We have seen...
Wow. Amazing how that works, isn't it? Rosalind, see, we were just talking about you. You name the Roz, and it's like you have to say it 3 times. You have to name the Roz 3 times, and she appears like the Candy Man. Just right there. That is right there. That is exactly, that was the most base thing. Exactly. You want to talk about some base shit, though. We're going to get really based here. We're going to go and grab ourselves a cup of coffee. Everybody, we're going to take a short break. We're going to grab some coffee. I will be right back with you. Grab your coffee. Grab your coffee cup. Go relieve thyself. That's what thou must do. But make sure that you come back here. We'll be back in just a short second.
Sandy shores, get a tan, Rambo the orangutan. Driving a golf cart, oh man, Rambo is half crazy, yes he can. Well, that SOB's a sight to effing see. Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is, well, that is too dirty to say here. Shizzy on the dunes, coffee in hand. Rambo is a loon, and Shizzy is a, that is too dirty to say here, Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Otters in the surf, hummingbirds in the sky. Rambo honks the horn and spits in Shizzy's eye. Oh my! Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having an effing blast. Oh, Rambo's rolling. Rambo takes a turn, driving to the wave. Otters wave their paws, telling Rambo, not sure, but if you could understand, Otter, it probably wasn't nice. Rambo takes a turn, driving to the waves. Otters wave their paws, telling Rambo, not sure, but if you could understand, Otter, it probably wasn't nice. Oh, Rambo's rolling, as the sun he's free at last. While Shizzy has his coffee, these two are having a effing blast. So here's to Rambo, otters and hummingbirds by the edge of the ocean. And Shizzy, well, he might just be there too. here's to Rambo, otters and hummingbirds, by the edge of the ocean. And Shizzy, well, he might just be there too.
Oh yeah, there we go. So let's continue on with what these fine folks have to say. On the other side, it's Rosalind. Neither is my brain. My brain is never working in the morning. It just looks like it. Imagine if I was fully functioning at any point in time. The comments recall then Democrat, Republican, or presidential nominee Hillary Clinton dismissed Trump supporters during a 2016 fundraiser in New York by saying that half would fit into a basket of deplorables. Clinton later called the characterization, it's grossly generalistic, but it became a defiant rallying cry for many Trump backers who said the insult encapsulated the elitist attitudes of Clinton's, Democrats, Obama's, Biden's, Harris's. Those people of the world have very elitist views of the rest of them. As reactions to Biden's reaction began to fly, reactions to his reaction, no, he didn't have a reaction. He made a statement, an outright statement saying that Trump supporters are garbage. Trump was asked in an interview Tuesday night with Fox News Channel Sean Hannity about the racist and vulgar joke at his New York rally. He responded, somebody said there was a comedian that joked about Puerto Rico or something, and I have no idea who he is. Former president added, I can't imagine it's a big deal. But apparently it was. At a rally Tuesday in Allentown, Pennsylvania, city with a large Hispanic population, Trump repeated his claim that Biden's immigration policies have allowed other countries to treat the U.S. like a giant garbage can. Yeah. No lies detected there. With election day now just a week off, Biden has worked to maintain relevance. Why is Biden? I don't understand, because is Biden running for re-election? Because last I remember that it was Camel Toe Harris that was running for the position. She was never primaried. She wasn't even voted by people that are Democrats. She was voted in as vice president, and then nobody primaried her because the primary was done, and Joe won the primary, and then he just turned over his candidacy to an outsider, person that must not have a lot of people liking her. It's honestly a little strange. They gave him the wrong meds. That's a possibility. Biden has worked to maintain relevance, furiously promoting his administration's accomplishments, which have been zero, except for undoing everything that President Trump had done, while Harris in her race against Trump. While Harris is in a race against Trump. Yeah, Harris has done nothing also, except for make things worse. But his efforts to remain in the political spotlight may not always be so helpful for the top of the Democrat ticket he's now promoting. That's because while Harris has been sharply critical of Trump for months, repeatedly calling him unstable, unhinged, a Yahtzee, racist, all of the things that are unacceptable, hoping to woo conservative crossover voters because, well, she's got a warmonger like Liz Cheney in there, and almost every single person that they're getting in there is all about having wars. It's really weird how they would do that. The Democrat convention and Harris ads have highlighted the stories of everyday Americans who talked about having voted for Trump in the past, but now say they're supporting the vice president. Who? Are you talking about the Cheneys? No, they only support who's going to go to war because that's how they make their money. On Tuesday's call, Biden also said that Trump doesn't give a damn about the Latino community. I would beg to differ, sir. And urged rejection of the former president, even as Trump's campaign says its support is rising among Hispanics, particularly men. And what does Biden say? He says, keep Donald Trump out of the White House. He's a true danger. Again, with the hateful rhetoric. Why is it that you have all this hate in you, Joe? You don't understand, Joe. You don't need to have all this hate. But what? Not just to Latinos, but to all people. Really? To whom? To whom has who? To I'm trying to think. What war did he start? Maybe he just ruins your sensibilities, particularly those who are a minority in this country. Really? Is that what you think, Joe? That Trump doesn't like the minorities in this country? Really? Is that really what you think, Joe? Is that really what you believe? That he has hatred for minorities in this country? It's amazing to me that that's what he believes. Or is it all just a lie? Is it that he hates minorities in this country? Would that be true, that Trump hates minorities and Joe Biden has love for minorities? Well, what exactly does that mean? Let's ask
Would you
Joe.
allow these cities to ignore the federal law regarding the reporting of illegal immigrants and, in fact, provide sanctuary to these immigrants?
The reason the cities ignore the federal law is the fact that there is no funding at the federal level to provide for the kind of enforcement at the federal level you need. Pick up the New York Times today. There's a city not far across the river from my state that imposed similar sanctions. And what they found out is, as a consequence of that, their city went in the dumps, in the dumpster. Stores started closing. Everything started to happen. And they changed the policy. Part of the problem is you have to have a federal government that can enforce laws. This administration has been fundamentally derelict in not funding any of the requirements that are needed even to enforce the existing law.
So, Senator Biden, yes or no, would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No.
Interesting. Oops. Until, yeah. Yeah. Take it from him. Take it from him. Yeah, there's no rhetoric. There's no rhetoric on one side. No rhetoric here. This was during the Madison Square Garden convention. Whenever you have this thing happen from MSNBC, if you look, all of those people there. I mean, the stadium isn't filled up, but there's a hell of a lot of people there. That's pretty damn full, and they're full on all sides. Just watch what your mass media, your wonderful people.
But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally. A rally where speakers voiced anti-Semitic rhetoric from a stage draped with Nazi banners. When a Jewish protester rushed the stage, the Associated Press reported, quote, instantly, a dozen or more stormtroopers set upon him, knocking him down and beating him as he held his head in his arms. Most of his clothing was torn from his body. Later, he was booked for disorderly conduct. Now, against that backdrop of history, Donald Trump, the man who has threatened to use the military against opponents he calls enemies from within, who has threatened to use the troops to quell what he says are lawless cities, and to use those troops to carry out mass deportations of immigrants, is once again turning Madison Square Garden into a staging ground for extremism.
That's what they had to say. Yet there's no hateful rhetoric happening on the left. No, they're being all nice and kind. Let's keep it real. LGBTQI+ style. If Trump were out there dropping racial slurs, they would have tons of recordings. yet they have none of them. All they do is bootstrap together different clips of him addressing tough issues such as illegal immigration, and then he's beating Jews back in the 1930s. I'm so over this nonsense. Yes, and that's all it is. Yeah, not even the same garden. There have been 3 locations for the garden. There you go. Roslyn Duke, so happy you've been gaslighted once again. I watched part of this on Newsmax Online. No other national media was showing on TV. They only cherry-picked sound bites afterwards. Yes, good thing no more rallies till Tuesday. Yep. That is amazing to me. It is amazing to me that is how the left feels about other people. So why don't we see what exactly was being said there? Why don't we hear what exactly was being said there?
Are 9 days away from the most important election of my lifetime. Stakes have never been higher, and the choice has never been clearer. President Trump and I have been friends for 25 years. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. He is the most resilient, hardest working human being that I've ever met in my life. I know he's a great leader. This is not my opinion, not my hope. He's proven he can build the strongest economy in American history. He's proven he can secure our borders and keep our nation safe. He's proven to be the strong leader allies and adversaries alike must respect. He's proven he loves this country so much, he's literally put his life on the line for it. What has the other candidate proven? She can get your party's nomination without even facing voters. What else? What else can she offer the American people other than vague promises and no plan? She talks a lot about the need for change and her hope for the future. Hope and change. Does that sound familiar? She can use the old Obama playbook, but she's not Obama, and she is no agent of change. She is the sitting vice president of the United States right now. What she hopes is voters will focus on the future because she doesn't want us looking at the last 4 years to see what we really need to change. We need change from sky-high inflation. According to Yahoo Finance, the cost of groceries is up over 25% during the Biden-Harris administration. Food is unaffordable for most Americans. That has to change. We need change from wide-open borders. BBC News reports illegal immigration reached record levels since they took office, with an estimated 10 million border crossings. That's a 300% increase compared to the Trump administration, and that's not including the unknown millions who cross undetected. That is the record of the other candidate, the border czar of the Biden administration. We need change from weak foreign policy. According to the Institute for Economics and Peace, a nonpartisan think tank, think about this, there are more active armed conflicts now than any time since World War II. Weakness from the Biden-Harris administration has invited aggression and conflicts around the globe. When President Trump was our commander-in-chief, the world was a much more peaceful place. J.D. Vance touched on this, but I want to hit it again. Vice President Harris was asked recently by the objective journalists of The View if there's anything she would have done differently than Biden over the past 4 years. And again, her answer was, there is not a thing that comes to mind. So, don't take my word for it, take is not a plan. Change is needed, but change won't come from the status quo. And she is the status quo. If you want real change, you'll vote for proven leadership. If you want to return to economic prosperity, border security, and global stability, you'll vote for the one candidate who's proven he can deliver all of that. My fellow Americans, if you want what's best for your family and this country, you're going to vote Donald J. Trump as the 47th president of the United States. Thank you, New York. Have a good night.
Yes, urgent care is nuts. Yes, urgent care is always nuts and crazy. Nuts and bolts. Yeah. Yeah. That right there tells you so much. So what else did Marco Rubio have? Little Marco Rubio. Remember back in, 2016, whenever Trump was running, he called him Little Marco Rubio.
One of the things I see a lot in South Florida are people that have been in this country that maybe came from Cuba 45 years ago. They've worked here their entire lives. They retire. They get $800, $900, $1,000 a month from Social Security. And then they run into somebody who just got here from Cuba 3 months ago, 29 years old, doesn't work, and is given $1,500 a month in benefits by our government because they're refugees. That refugee, a year later, is traveling back to Cuba 15 times. So you're a refugee fleeing oppression from a place that you now go back and visit 15 times the following year. And in the meantime, we're giving you Medicaid, food stamps, health care for your children, cash payments from the refugee fund. So imagine if you've been working here for 40 years and your Social Security check is smaller than the benefits going to a 28-year-old able-bodied person who just got here. That's real. That happens. That's happening every day. That makes no sense.
Yep. That's what Rubio has to say. Yet we're told time and time again, no. This is the party of helping everybody out. But what do they have to say about what do they want to try? But of course, you have the water carriers like CNN, MSNBC, and how do they think about this?
I think it would be great if she could run on what Biden has done, because what Biden has done is actually tremendous.
I agree.
And I think it is absolutely bananas that she has to even think of distancing herself from the Jobs and Infrastructure Act, from the CHIPS Act, from the PACT Act. We haven't done infrastructure. Why are you laughing?
Please keep talking about the CHIPS Act. If you look at the polling on the issues, Joe Biden is 60% disapproved on every single major issue.
I think it would be great if
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh, I've got a good one here for you. More like helping their own wallet cut. Yeah. It's bananas, all right. Yeah, it is. Absolutely bananas, nuts, crazy, psycho. What in the hell is this? Well, let's see. When the FBI originally released the final crime data for 2022 in September of 2023, it reported that the nation's violent crime rate fell by 2.1%. This quickly became and remains a Democrat Party talking point to counter Donald Trump's claims of soaring crime. But the FBI has quietly revised those numbers, releasing new data that shows violent crime increased in 2022 by 4.5%. The new data includes thousands more red rums, rapings, robberies, and aggravated assaults. The Bureau, which has been the center of partisan storms, made no mention of these revisions in its September 2024 press release. RCI discovered the change through a cryptic reference on the FBI website that states the 2022 violent crime rate has been updated for the inclusion in the SIAS 2023, but there's no mention that the numbers increased. It only sees the change by downloading the FBI's new crime data and comparing it to the file released last year. After the FBI released its new crime data in September, the USA Today headline read, "Violent crime dropped for the third straight year in 2023, including red rum and grapings." It's been over 3 weeks since the FBI released the revised data. The Bureau's lack of acknowledgement or explanation about the significant change concerns researchers. I have checked the data on total violent crime from 2004 to 2022. Carl Moody, a professor at the College of William and Mary who specializes in studying crime, told Real Clear Investigations there's no revisions from 2004 to 2015 and from 2018 to 2020. There were small changes of less than 1 percentage point. The huge changes in 21 and 2022, especially without an explanation, makes it difficult to trust the FBI's data. It is up to the FBI to explain what they have done. They haven't explained these large changes. Dr. Thomas Marvell, the president of Justec Research, a criminal justice statistical research organization, told RCI the actual changes in crimes are extensive. The updated data for 2022 report that there were 80,029 more violent crimes in 2021. There were additional 1,699 red rums, 7,780 more grapings, 33,459 robberies, and 37,091 aggravated assaults. The question naturally arises, should the FBI's 2023 numbers be believed? Without the increase, the drop in violent crime in 23 would have been less than half as large, but only 1.6 instead of reported drop of 3.5%. The FBI isn't the only government agency that's been revising its data. The Bureau of Labor Statistics massively overestimated the number of jobs created during the year that ended in March by 818,000 people. The FBI's crime stats revisions reveal how much guesswork is involved in even the final numbers that's seized on by politicians. Here, I'll zoom in so you can see exactly what I'm reading here. And it says FBI's crime stats revisions reveal how much guesswork is involved. Even the final numbers are often seized on by politicians. The FBI doesn't simply count reported crimes. Instead, it offers estimates by extrapolating data from police departments that report only partial year data. The Bureau also makes estimates for cities that report no data. The FBI's method of generating these estimates changes over time, and it affects the figures that they report. The FBI processes such as how to tries to estimate unreported figures has long been a black box, even to the Bureau of Justice Statistics. The Department of Justice's actual statistical agency, says Jeffrey Anderson, who headed the DOJ's Bureau of Justice Statistics from 17 to 21. Anderson said when he headed the Bureau of Justice Statistics, we definitely would have highlighted in a press release or report the 6.6 change recorded for 2022. And if you're wondering how he got the 6.6 change, they were telling people that it was down 2%, but it was actually up 4%. They would have highlighted this to everyone. Many crimes are unreported. Another FBI crime data is its reliance on reported crimes. Most crimes go unreported, with only about 45% of violent crimes and 30% of property crimes brought to the police's attention, according to the National Crime Victimization Survey. Since the FBI only tracks reported incidences, and this gap is so large, researchers argue that when the media discusses crime rates based on FBI data, they should clarify that it reflects reported crime, not give the impression that total crime is changing. Non-reporting of a crime doesn't affect all crimes equally. Non-reporting of a murder or a motor vehicle theft is relatively rare. In murder cases, victims can't be overlooked, and for auto theft, insurance claims require police reports. However, it is difficult to fully trust even these numbers because the FBI underreported 1,699 red rums and 54,216 motor vehicle thefts in 2022, casting doubt on the reliability of their data. Although recent attention has focused on the decline of murder rates, even with the revised numbers, the 16.2% drop from 2020 to 2023 still leaves red rum rates 9.6 higher than pre-COVID levels. A half a century ago, the DOJ provided a total crime measure, including both reported and unreported crime. The results of the department's Bureau of Justice Statistics, released in mid-September, tell a very different story from the FBI data. The NCVS interviews 240,000 people each year about their personal experiences, instead of the FBI's 3.5% drop in the reported violent crime in 2023. The NCVS found a 4.1 increase in the reported violent crime rate, even with the revised FBI numbers in 22. The FBI's 4.5 increase pales in comparison to NCVS's 29.1% increase. So as you'll see, these are what they were showing whenever they compare them. This is what it was. This is what it was reported. This is what it was here. This is what it was reported. That's what it was, and that's what was reported. Over the past few years, the number of police officers has declined because of cuts in budgets and many retirements. One result is that police departments nationwide, from Charlottesville and Henrico County, Virginia, to Chicago, Illinois, and Olympia, Washington, are no longer responding to calls unless the perpetrator is still there actively committing the crime. Instead of police coming out to investigate and take a report, residences in those jurisdictions can still go to the police station, wait in line to get a police report filled out. In addition, despite the widespread belief that calling 911 is enough to report a crime, the FBI officially doesn't tally 911 calls. It only counts crimes when police make out an official report. Other data shows sharper rises in crime, while the FBI claims that serious violent crime has fallen by 5.8% since Biden took office. The NCVS numbers show the total violent crime rate has risen by 55.4%. Grapings are up by 42%, robbery by 63%, aggravated assault by 55% during Biden's term. Since the NCVS started, the largest previous increase over 3 years was 27% in 2006. So the increase under Biden was slightly more than twice as large. The increase shows the NCVS during Biden-Harris administration are by far the largest percentage increases over any 3 years, slightly more than doubling the previous record. Comparing 2023 rates with 2019 pre-COVID violent crimes rate, the FBI's new 2023 data shows virtually no improvement, just a 0.2% drop, while the NCVS shows a 19% increase over that period. But the news media didn't cover the crime survey when it was released last month. They so conveniently ignored it. With the media using the 2022 data tells us for a year that crime was falling, it is disappointing that there are no news articles correcting this misimpression. Moody told RCI, we will have to see whether the FBI later also revises those 2023 numbers. At the beginning of this year, the media was running headlines like National Public Radio's violent crime is dropping fast in the U.S., even if Americans don't believe it. At some point in 2022, there was just a tipping point where violence started to fall, and it just continued to fall, is what NPR claimed. But now the FBI itself has admitted its violent crime numbers were way off. Why do you think they would have those numbers way off? Well, even as polls show that Americans are concerned about crime, the FBI and the media are making it difficult to see how crime rates have changed over the last few years. And of course, another survey late last year found that 92% of Republicans and 58% of Democrats thought crime was increasing. Another report of a survey said that a 4.7 to 1 margin, likely voters say violent crime in the U.S. is getting worse, 61%, not better, 13%. They also found that crime and violence was Americans' second biggest concern after inflation. And you hear that. They're not as concerned about immigration. They're more concerned with crime. They're more concerned with inflation. Cost of living goes up, crime increases. They sort of go hand in hand. But the media and the politicians use that inaccurate FBI data to try to convince people that what you feel, what you see with your own two eyes, is that you're wrong. That's gaslighting. The FBI report is stunning because it now doesn't state that violent crime in 2022, which was much higher than it previously reported, nor does it explain why the new rate is so much higher. And it issues no press release about this large revision, said David Mustard, no relation to Colonel, and Josiah Meigs, distinguished professor at the University of Georgia, who researches extensively on crime. This lack of transparency harms the FBI's credibility. And there you go. If you want to support their work, that was a story by Real Clear Investigations. Amazing. Yes, that can also. Cost of living, having people that don't want to follow the laws of our country. It's clear they don't want to follow the laws of the country, or else they would have come into this country legally. So immediately they become a criminal. As soon as they come into this country illegally, it is breaking the law. Tonight, I'm going to be covering some pretty interesting stuff. I'm still debating how deep I want to go into it, because it's probably going to piss some people off. And it has nothing to do with politics. It has a lot to do with some information I have. I'm not sure if I should bring it up or not. At some point, it'll probably be brought up. So I might discuss it a little bit later tonight. We'll see. I'll have to think about it. It's something that I think should be pointed out, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel about it here in a few hours. I'll have to read through some of the stuff, and I know that it's going to not look pretty for certain people, but I'll think about it. I'll think about what I'm going to do with, if I'm going to cover this tonight or not. Hold on. I will decide. No pissing people off. It can't be what pissing people off. It can't be say it ain't do what. So I think something. I know the feeling. Yeah. Since when are you worried about pissing people off? Well, it is an expo say about pudding pops? No, it's a little worse. I'm concerned about it because I don't like going after people personally. It seems to me not fun, but it might put into context a lot of things, and it has to do with the Hale stuff. Yeah, it might put it into context. So like I said, I'm still debating whether I should or not. We'll see. It'll be an interesting one nonetheless. Oh, it's juicy. It is so juicy. So damn juicy. We'll think about it. We'll see. A to-do list. Size matters. Damn right. Size effing matters. And petty tyrant, key moments from Camel Toe's speech. So if you didn't know that she had some speech on the ellipse A, or whatever they want to call it, the ellipse, two crotches and two crotch crickets. Yeah. If you lay out the facts, is that going after someone? I guess it wouldn't be. But Ballstorm makes a very good point. Ballstorm does make a very good point. Washington AP. Camel Toe Harris on Tuesday sought to remind Americans what life was like under Donald Trump. Yeah. Gas prices were low. Inflation was low. Cost of living was low. Crime was lower. Things were running along really smooth. I was making money. Wasn't paying too much for groceries. I could take a trip out of town and had money left over. I could have work done on my house and have money left over. I could build a table 3 times using different materials of wood, and it hardly cost me anything. So how was it better? Yeah, remind us exactly how good it was under Donald Trump. But they want to offer you a different path forward because, it's much better to have you down on your hands and knees. If they send her to the White House and speech billed as her campaign's closing arguments, I will always listen to you even if you don't vote for me. That is an absolute lie. She will not. What happened whenever somebody came into her rally and said that Christ was king? She told them they were in the wrong place. That you think we forgot about that? Said you're at the wrong place. You don't belong here. Someone that said that didn't belong with them. So they say they'll support you. The truth is they won't support you. Some key moments from her half-hour speech. She chose to speak from the ellipse on purpose. It's the same spot in Washington where Donald Trump spoke about going to make people's voices heard peacefully. But that's not how the AP reported it. They reported it that he incited a mob, which we've already shown time and time again that was not true. But the vice president did devote much of her speech because, well, she would have been called out on her lies. A quiet reminder of the different choices Americans face. Yeah. People like to hear the truth and not lies being spewed out by the White House. And she said, Donald Trump has spent a decade trying to keep American people divided. That would be incorrect because what we've seen for the past 8 years is how long that you've been trying to keep America divided. And 8 years prior to that, how much you try to keep people divided. And you constantly are dividing people. You're very divisive in your rhetoric, and this is what you get. So Camel Toe, the prosecutor, argued her case, although we don't have anything that she actually prosecuted, although she likes to brag about this. She was California's attorney general before she became a U.S. senator, and nobody voted for her in either one of these elections. Amazing how that works. And she often says the campaign trail that she's only ever had one client, the people. Yeah, the people. In her speech, she talked about her past work taking on scammers. Name one case. Violent offenders. Oh, wait, you're talking about those people that were nonviolent offenders that you kept locked away while you had California forest fires, and then you sent them out there to go take care of those fires, the wildfires in California, prisoners. And cartels. Name one cartel that you went after. What was the cartel? What was the case? What was that case that you went after? She said she'd bring with her to the White House an instinct to protect. But she hasn't done anything. Knee pads and slippers? Or knee pad suppliers. Sorry, I thought you said knee pads and slippers. I was like, wait, I have those. I had to use knee pads when I was doing the tile on the front porch. I will tell you, having good knee pads is ideal. She says, it's me. I'm a presidential nominee. It's me. Look at me. 1 week before the election, Harris allowed that. I know many of you are still getting to know who I am. No, that's not what you want to have. No, people know who you are, or at least what you tell people you are. You still haven't shown any sort of plan except that you're going to continue on with the same garbage that's been ruining this country for the past 4 years. Harris is still confronting voters say they want to learn more about her and how she will govern. So she spent some time Tuesday talking about her career, which nobody can prove. I'll be honest with you, she's not perfect. No, she's definitely far from that. She'll make mistakes. Most people do. But here's the promise that she'll always do is that she'll always listen to you, except if you're a Christian or a Trump supporter or what did they call us? Garbage? Oh, then she won't listen to us because, you're garbage. How many people did she listen to that went into the went into the Capitol on January 6, 2021. 2020? Yeah, 2020. How many people? How many people did you listen to whenever they were trying to make their voices heard and were shot with rubber bullets through the face? How many of those people did you listen to? How many are you listening to as you do mass incarcerations of people and have kept them in jail for the past 4 years for trespassing? How many of those people have you been listening to? She devoted a good chunk of her speech talking about the policies she'd enact. What policies? Because we've still not seen any policies. She says she will fight to restore what Donald Trump and the Supreme Court justices took away. That's not policy. That's rhetoric. She's telling you what her game plan is. It's going to be no different than what they've been doing for the past 4 years. You're going to see your economy fall. You're going to see people be massively incarcerated if they disagree with her policies. And that's even if we do have an election. On day one, if elected, Donald Trump would walk into that office with an enemies list. That's not what he said. What he said is whenever he comes into office, he's going to fire everybody and let them reapply. He's going to get rid of these staffers that lied to him. He's going to get rid of the people that did not do anything to help this country. That's what he said he's going to do. I say he's going to downsize the government, but until he does it, I don't believe it. Doesn't mean I won't vote for him, but he's got a pretty damn clear plan of what he's going to do, and we should hold him accountable for every single bit of it, whether you agree with him or not. Size matters. Yeah, I bet it's... no, size matters to her. So there's this ellipse, which is a grassy expanse between the White House and the Washington Monument that's long played host to political events and national traditions like the annual holiday of the tree lighting, sort of like when Trump went there and had his speech. But of course, she wants to cast shade on that because, oh my God, that would be so much. You out of here, Rosalind? Bye. You have a good one. Your boyfriend's name is the Tiles. I am not judging Shizzy. I love you. Love whoever you love. You're funny. Yeah. No, I did lay tile over the weekend, but it's good. Hard to fire those people. Dug in like a tick. No, it's not. It's actually pretty damn easy to fire those people. Really damn easy. On Tuesday, the space was packed. Crowds spilled onto the National Mall back towards the Washington Monument, where giant screens and speakers were set up for people to hear and see from afar. The cheers of the boisterous crowd could be heard from the White House driveway. Harris's campaign said it was her biggest rally to date. Oh, so big, so large. Harris loves to needle Trump about crowd size. Now, I think she's the one that feels needled about crowd size, so much so that they had to use AI to fill in the crowd at her first political thing. Harris has called Trump unhinged and unstable, except we found that that's not true, that he's much more stable than she is. Lincoln Monument is far better. Yeah, Lincoln Monument is pretty damn awesome. But if you want to be humbled, just go to the World War II monument. See how humbling that is. See those names on that wall. The loss of lives. Go visit the Korean monument. The ghosts walking. Go visit the Vietnam monument with its black darkness. Yeah, it's impressive. You're talking about climbing on Abe's lap. Yeah, Abe's lap is that's also impressive. Seriously, I bet you laid tile on your lower back got destroyed. Nope, actually it didn't. The shoulders did, but the lower back was fine. She warned Trump is a man governed by grievances. No, not really. He just wants to make sure that our country they seem to be very focused. The libs seem to be very focused on Trump. They really do not like Trump. Whereas the Trump supporters tend to go after the policies of the Biden-Harris administration, not her personally. Black darkness. Yeah. Yes, but going to World War II monument and Vietnam monument is most important. Yeah. Yeah. Meanwhile, Biden complication emerges. There you go. Just moments before Harris was to get down on her hands and knees and choke one out, Biden was on the campaign trail reacting to a comic who called Puerto Rico garbage. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He said that there was a lot of garbage floating in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean called Puerto Rico. And even Puerto Rico has a garbage problem. They've said this before multiple times. He joined the national call organized by the advocacy group, urged those on the call to vote to keep Donald Trump out of the White House, saying he's a true danger, not just to Latin people. Biden's remarks were quickly seized on by Republicans who said he was denigrating Trump supporters, a distraction for Harris when she's trying to reach out to GOP voters. Biden quickly sent out a social media post seeking to clarify his remarks. No, Biden has never posted on social media ever. Ever. As much as everyone likes to, bring this up, Trump actually does type shit out on his phone. He is the one that communicates with the social media. If you don't believe me, listen to how horrible the shit is that he says. Okay. He comes up with some of the most asinine fucking tweets, but they're goddamn hilarious. And listen to what Biden has to say. None of it is anywhere relevant or cohesive. It's trying to spin. Those are spin doctors, and I don't think he has the cognitive ability to actually use his thumbs like a normal human being. It probably has him so far up Jill's ass that he doesn't know what to do with them, but that's besides the point. He is definitely not typing out those tweets. Biden's remarks were quickly seized on by Republicans. He quickly sent out social media posts seeking to clarify his remarks. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. No, he didn't say anything. Trump's name calling is hilarious. Yes, it is. It is. I laugh my ass off constantly. There's still plenty to come after what Harris called her closing argument. The event was framed as a campaign finale meant to lay out in stark terms the choice for voters next week, but it's far from Harris's last campaign event. She'll be hitting all the key battleground states as she makes her last pitch to voters. She's more like a catcher, I would say. She will headline events in Wisconsin, North Carolina, Pennsylvania on Wednesday, and on Thursday she will have rallies in Arizona and Nevada. More events are expected before Election Day. The campaign is looking to pick up voters somewhere because she needs all that she can get. With different demographics in the hope that swing vote year might add up to a win with a razor red race with Trump. I don't see it as a razor edge with Trump. I see that they're flailing so bad that they have no idea. They have no idea what's going on with folks. And they are so dim-witted. And they think you are too. That's where they're at with all of this. They think that you don't know. They think that you don't get it. There you go.
Who are you voting for this election?
I'm voting for Teeny Jaguar.
If you had to choose one of the candidates and you couldn't write in, who would you be choosing?
Kamala.
And is your girlfriend's boyfriend also voting for Kamala?
Totally, yeah. Yeah. Who are you voting for?
I'm voting for Donald Trump, baby.
Really?
Yeah, really. Can you believe it?
I'm shocked and appalled.
So you're cat ladies for Harris?
Yeah. Yes.
Who are you voting?
That's pretty funny. She wasn't expecting that. He was totally put off by that. Was not expecting that at all. Oh my. Oh my, oh my. Then and there. Oh, Volstorm, correct. She got caught. Dana White brought up the only thing that Trump Yeah, they were both short sleepers. The difference is quite stark when they chose to use those extra hours of daylight. Handler intern post on social media, a correction more likely. Yeah. I have reorient my mind to the geography, but those are pretty close to each other. Jefferson's got this shaft, they just threw him in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, something like that. Black darkness. Yeah. Yeah, Trump has a pretty proven record of firing people. Yeah, pretty much. You disagree with Elon on one point. Take your Republican friends to the polls this weekend. Offer to bring your Democrat friends. No, we don't talk about that. That would be misinformation. There's only one day of voting. One day, one election day. There is early voting, but there is only one election day. Damn it. Only one day. And that's the day that all the votes would be counted, and we will have a clear winner that day. There's only one election day. We'll have a clear winner that day. Why? Because the AP will call it. Trump women have more balls than camel toe voters. Very true. Who has Democrat friends? Let's go. Hey, my wife is agree to disagree. Damn, you get me in trouble, Brandon. You will get me in a lot of damn trouble. A lot. And I'm not falling for that. You son of a buck. Nope, not doing it. Not doing it. Well, you guys are so bad. So bad. Not as bad as the AP is. The AP really, they're really trying to pull this one on you. It says how Mexican cartels manage the flow of illegals on their way to the U.S. The first place where many illegals sleep after ending Mexico from Guatemala is inside a large structure where they should stay. They're telling you right here how bad it is. After entering Mexico from Guatemala, because if you're trying to go for political asylum, then you should be staying right there in that building. They call it the chicken coop, and they don't have to leave. They don't get to leave until they pay the cartel that runs it. Illegal encounters in the U.S.-Mexican border have reached a 4-year low. As we've seen, that's not true. But days before the U.S. election, which illegals are a key issue. But those illegals still continue to pour into Mexico. While U.S. authorities give much of the credit to their Mexican counterparts for stemming the flow of their shared border, organized crime maintains stricter control of who moves here than the handful of federal agents and National Guardsmen standing by the river. Do us a favor, stick out your tongue and hold it with your fingers, then say, I was born. No, I'm not doing that. Also, I have a very long tongue, so I would have no problem saying that, but I'm not doing that. While U.S. authorities give much of the credit to their Mexico counterpart, kidnapping illegals who pay a $100 ransom for their release are stamped to signal that they have paid. From January to August, such is the southernmost corner of Mexico, more than 150,000 illegals were intercepted by illegal immigration agents, considered a fraction of the flow. 6 illegal families interviewed by the AP who passed through an initial abduction were held until paying, explained how it works. A Mexican federal official corroborated much of it. They request anonymity for fear of those reprisals. Mexican illegal immigration agents encountered 925,000 undocumented immigrants or illegals through August of this year, well above last year's annual total and triple the 2021 total. Yet they've only deported about 16,500, a fraction of previous years. Reverend Vasquez, a priest in this Hidalgo along the Suchaki River that divides Mexican and Guatemala, sees it daily. It's them, the cartel, that says who passes and who doesn't. no different than here. It's actually an interesting study. My mother has voted for everyone from Bernie Sanders to H.W. Bush. She is willing to listen. Nowadays, she's just abortion. Isn't that really a sort of conundrum? Maybe is she telling you something? I'm just curious. Lesko. Do you think she's trying to tell you something whenever she says that? I hope not. I hope she's not saying that. I hope she's not saying that. I have the ability to bring you in this world. I have the ability to take you out. That's what my mother used to say. I believe her too. I think she would have tried to take me out. And cartel control border, blah, blah, blah. Race against time, blah, blah, blah. He was nervous about making it in time, but relieved to have the appointment because Donald Trump is going to come and get rid of them. To have any chance of doing so, he would have had to make it from the border between Brownsville, Texas, and Matamoros, Mexico by November 6th for his CBP-1 appointment. He planned to fly from Chapatula to the northern city of Monterey and then take a bus to Matamoros. He's worried about not making it in time. Yeah, people are not wanting to make it in time. Let's not forget, one county in New Mexico is counting ballots by hand through a microscope with nursing home volunteers, so it will take at least 12 days to count. Well, but we still only have 1 day of election. Only 1 day. 1 day that you go in and do it. I mean, you still have your early voting and stuff like that. We don't want to spread any sort of election misinformation, disinformation. The truth is there is only one election day, and those votes will be counted on that day, and we will have a clear winner by the end of the day. You were juxtaposing traditional right-hearing independent baby boomer with whatever this younger generation is. We love the younger generation. Tonight we are going to have a little bit of a hailstream. I will, like I said, I'm still debating whether I'm going to cover a particular topic. I know that I really don't like to piss people off, but if it goes the way that I think it's going to go, you're going to be not surprised, I guess is the best way of putting it. It won't be surprising, but it will be information that you may have not heard before. Very big deal. Maybe. I don't know. It could be a big deal. Might not be. We'll see. I know that it's going to probably ruffle some feathers, like quite a bit. It's okay. I've got nothing better to do tonight. I mean, I could cover election stuff, but I think everybody else is already covering that stuff. I've got election night coming up, which would be the 5th, next Tuesday. That's going to be a very long night. I hope you have yourselves ready for it. I may members only stream. It's only 99 cents to become a member on my channel. I probably should do something about that. Yeah, it's interesting. It's gonna be a pretty interesting night next Tuesday. And that's if the election goes forward. If everything goes as planned, we will have a clear winner by Tuesday night. I would say about 1 o'clock in the morning. My microphone has an issue. Yeah, my microphone has an issue right now, but that is going to be corrected. Hopefully today. I have received my condenser. I've got to get that hooked up, and if it isn't fixed today, it'll possibly be taken care of tomorrow. We'll see what happens with it. But tonight is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to probably do this one solo, which means I won't have any guests because it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one, possibly a short one, but we'll see. Let's see how fast they come after me. There's a lot of people out there that they've just got so much hate for the Hales, and I mean I can understand why they do, but I'll probably have to call upon my mods to come and handle stuff pretty quickly and rapidly, because it might just get some people worked up. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see if I do it or not. But with that, I do have to get my ass to work. I've got a very long day ahead of me. I've got to get about 2,000 stamps put on envelopes, something like that. Get those mailed out, and I also have some other stuff that needs to be taken care of today. Rumble, I may have to do that. I may have to switch it over to Rumble only on. Well, I know that for the election I will be doing Rumble also. But yeah, it's going to be. It's not anything that's YouTube bannable or anything like that. It shouldn't be. I just know that it'll get people ruffled. But I will see everybody tonight. Everybody have a good one. Oh, I need to get you set up to where I'm going to send you guys, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me double check. See, I usually do this stuff about halfway into the stream, but I need to get you guys set up to go check someone out that ought to be pretty damn good. Let me see if I've got it here. And I know that I've got this set up. It looks like we've got Mo, and we've got the man. Meme is just tearing it up over there. Meme is tearing it up. But I'm going to send you guys over to Mo. Also, go check out Meme Copium. He's got a stream. If you're interested in the Nick Rekieta stuff, go check him out. Legal Vice isn't showing up that he's streaming right now, but I do have Mo that's streaming. So I'm going to send everybody over there, and it's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be wonderful and good. And Mo's an absolute sweetheart. Make sure that you show her some love and give her some support. She's been busting her ass, and that's what we like to see. It's people really getting out there and doing their thing. And with that, everyone have a good day. I will see you on the flip side. Tonight should be about 7:30. If, like I said, I've got to pour over some documents that I want to release out there, and we'll see how it goes. Everybody have a good one. Peace.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Early morning, rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning, Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning, Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning, Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.